Hello friends, welcome back to another video. So today I'm going to do a sequel to one of my most popular videos on the channel, which is the main character for each season video. And here it will be about the least important ninja for each season, or in more kind words, the ninja that played the smallest role in each season. I'm excited, you're excited, so let's get started. For the pilots, it's kinda hard to specify one ninja only because Cole, Jay and Zane played the exact same role pretty much. But if you focus a lot more, at least Cole has somewhat of a role, which is being the quote-unquote leader of the team, and he made some plans and some scenes and all. And Jay has some interactions with Nia and when he lost his voice too. But Zane felt like he did nothing at all. He was just being there, which might be because of his more calm and quiet personality at the time, but overall I feel like he had the smallest role, as in like Cole and Jay, he had no role at all. Season 1 is one of the team seasons, so all the ninja had a big role, but of course some had more than others. Kai played the biggest one pretty much, as he wanted to be the green ninja so badly and he was a lot more passionate about it than the other ninja. He was the last to unlock his true potential, which made his a lot more meaningful, as it was also the reason to why they found out that Lloyd is the green ninja. Zane and Jay had equal roles. They both had 2 Fox episodes and they were the first 2 to unlock their true potential, but Cole felt like he had the smallest. He was the only ninja to have less than 2 Fox episodes. He only had episode 9 where he unlocked his true potential. Also, the idea of him being the leader kinda vanished in this season, so his role became smaller, and due to his personality at the time, Cole had the smallest role in season 1. Even Lloyd and Nia played a bigger role than him. Season 2 is also pretty difficult, as the 4 original ninja had very equal roles, which was to train Lloyd, but I feel like Zane had a bit more to do in here, as he had a Fox episode for him actually, which is episode 22 where he met his father again and had a little story with him during that episode. Kai also had an episode for which is my favorite episode from Classic Ninjago, episode 19 Wrong Place Wrong Time, which was kind of a recap for the pilots, but it had its own identity too. Lloyd was obviously the main character of the season, so it's between Jay and Cole, but again I will unfortunately say it's Cole. Jay has a slightly bigger presence because of his personality mainly, but they both had zero role this season, so overall I'd say it's Cole. After 2 seasons of zero development, Cole finally had a big role in his season. I will say that Cole had the second biggest role in season 3. He had the most out of that love triangle, and regardless of how bad it is, it made Cole shine a lot more. Zane is supposed to be the main character of this season, but the love triangle ninja had a way bigger role than him honestly. But still, Zane had his relationship with Pixel and the biggest aspect of the season, which is Zane's sacrifice. So it's between Lloyd and Kai, and this one is pretty easy. Lloyd had his arc with his dad, and it was great to finally see Lloyd and his dad being good together after 2 long seasons of fighting. So I'd say that Kai had the smallest role in season 3. Now to the best one. One of the countless reasons to why season 4 is almost perfect and my favorite in the season is that all the ninja had a huge role with no exception. Let's start from the biggest one to smallest. Zane was pretty much the center of this season, as he had an identity crisis and he was facing his fears shaped in the form of the ice dragon. It also was the reason to why the season happened in the first place, because if it wasn't for the sake of saving him, the ninja would have not went to Chen's Island and attended the tournament. Lloyd continued his arc with his dad, which became even bigger and more complex. He also played a huge role in the ending by accepting his dad's decision of sacrificing himself. Kai had his relationship with Skylar and was the closest to Chen when he saw a lot of Fox scenes on him. Cole had to save everyone from the factory, and he also ended his hatred with Jay. Nia had her spy story, and Jay was also trying to regain Cole. So all of the ninja played a really huge role, but I'm gonna pick Jay as he was the only one without a story that doesn't involve another ninja, and by watching this season you can clearly see that he had the smallest role, as his arc was also the only one to not continue for the majority of this season. Season 5 is between Jay and Zane. Cole and Nia played the biggest roles. Cole became a ghost and we saw him trying to get used to it for the rest of the season, and Nia had her ninja arc. Kai also had a big role because of his promise to protect Lloyd and all. But Lloyd is in a weird position here. He didn't appear for around 80% of the season, but it is technically his season actually. But in the few episodes he appeared in, he had a really big role and was pretty much the focus of those episodes. But Jay and Zane barely did anything. But I'm gonna choose Jay here again because Zane had that small stupid arc where he started talking in reverse, then his voice kept getting weirder and weirder. This is probably one of Ninjago's dumbest side arcs, if you are gonna call it that. But it's something at least, unlike Jay who did nothing. So again we are choosing Jay. After 2 seasons of Jay having the smallest role, now he has the biggest role. Season 6 was absolutely Jay's season. It was Ninjago's greatest arc for me. I already talked about it in another video, link is in the description. But what about the smallest role? This one is pretty obvious. This guy, he was the first ninja to get captured by Nadecon, which means he had the way less screen time than the other ninja. He only appeared in 4 episodes and he barely did anything in them. Zane was the second to get captured, but at least he had a big role in the episode he was captured in than Kai's. Also, Kai's personality was a lot more different in this season. He was super annoying and shallow, but thankfully that was fixed with hands of time. In Day of the Departed, all the ninja other than Cole had very minor roles. They were there just to fight an old villain. This one is pretty hard, but I'm crazy enough to count how many words each ninja said to figure out who had the absolute smallest role. Literally, yup, I'm not even kidding. I actually counted how many words each ninja besides Cole said in Dave the Departed. But of course, this isn't exactly accurate. I might have missed on some, or I might have made some mistakes. So after half an hour of complete torture, here is the result. Kai said 76 words, Lloyd said 117, Jay 230, Zane 80, and Nia 65. So yeah, Nia had the smallest role in Dave the Departed, who would have guessed? Season 7 is also an easy one. We just entered 2017 and we just gave Cole a TV special, so it's time to make him the least important ninja in another season. Yeah, I think that Cole had the smallest role in Hands of Time. He had a few moments, especially with his new RX powers, and he had one moment with his dad, but the others had way bigger roles. Zane had another silly story with him malfunctioning and all of that trash. Lloyd had his master arc, Jay had an entire Fox episode for him actually, and Kai and Nia are obviously the main characters of the season. So yeah, I will say it's called for season 7. I love season 8 because it gave half of the team really big roles. Lloyd is the main character and his story with Harumi was heavily focused on. Cole had the second biggest role. He had a Fox episode which is 77 and a really big role in episodes 75, 76 and 78 too. Zane also had a huge role and by far his biggest role since Tournament Developments. It's not a cheap story like in season 5 and season 7, but it was complex. Kai, Jay and Nia had the smallest roles. Nia had a few interactions with Harumi and Lloyd as well, and she had a pretty big role in the finale by trying to help Lloyd and fighting Garmadon. So it's between Kai and Jay, but I will go with Kai because Jay had a lot of jokes in here and he shines a bit more. So yeah, I will go with Kai for season 8. Season 9 is supposed to be a team season, and it kinda is. Lloyd, Nia, Cole, and Jay got big roles. Jay got a Fox episode, which is episode 88, where we also saw his flashback with Wu. Cole had a big role, but smaller than season 8. He had to look after Lil Wu, and was the only ninja not to get captured by the dragon hunters in the first episode, which led to seeing more of him. Nia was Lloyd's second hand during the season, and had a lot of moments, especially emotional ones. And Lloyd had the biggest role. He had to lead the resistance and deal with the fact that he lost his powers for good. So it's between Kai and Zane. But honestly, Kai had a big role here. He had a lot of really good scenes, such as when he tried to tame the dragon or when he had that conversation with Wu. But Zane had no role pretty much, so I'm going to choose Zane for this one. Season 10 is Ninjago's most underrated season in my opinion, and one of the reasons is how awesome the Fox and the Ninja is. Kai and Nia had the biggest role and I really like them here. Kai had to force the golden weapons and he had the best and most realistic reaction over Cole's fake death. And I love all of their reactions. Kai's represented denial, Zane represented acceptance, Jay represents sadness, Nia represents guilt, and Lloyd represents madness. And nobody can notice this. You have to be specific to notice this amazing detail about Cole's fall. And this was easily Ninjago's saddest scene for me, and it developed the ninjas so well, especially Kai, because we saw how much they really care about each other after they barely did in earlier seasons. So yeah, Kai and Nia had the biggest roles. Lloyd also had his little journey with his father, and Jay had to propose to Nia. So again, I'm gonna choose Zane as he was the only ninja with no story dedicated to him in this season. Season 11 is by far Ninjago's worst season, but all the ninja had big roles here, or at least we had to believe so. Only Lloyd had a big role really, and the rest had stupid sized stories. Cole had his 2 episodes arc with Crag, Nia had her 3 episodes arc about the water powers, Kai had his dump arc about feeling useless, which destroyed 10 great seasons of development for him. Zane had his Ice Emperor story, which was underdeveloped, and Lloyd was pretty much the most important one with his Akita story and his solo mission to find Zay. This one is pretty obvious as Jay is the only one with no story or role at all. So yes, Jay. Season 12 was supposed to be a Jay season, but he barely did anything. He only had a role in the last 2 episodes. In the first 14 episodes, he didn't have a huge role, but not smaller than some of the others. Lloyd and Nia were with him until the end. Lloyd had his fight with Harumi, which is one of the biggest events of the season, and Nia had a lot of screen time. Kai and Cole had really small roles, but they had far more screen time than Zane, who barely even appeared in the first 12 episodes, so I'm gonna choose him for this one too. And finally we have season 13. This is Cole's season, so we are obviously not going to choose him. Kai and Nia were the leaders of both tribes and they had a lot of scenes, so I'm not choosing them neither. Zane had a few appearances with Kai and the Geckos and an overall bigger presence than Lloyd and Jay, so it's between them. But I'm gonna choose Lloyd for this one because Jay had a smaller story with the Queen of the Mass, unlike Lloyd who did nothing at all pretty much. This is our first time choosing Lloyd and it's the last season, so unfortunate. And phew, that was a lot to cover. Now let's see how many times each ninja was chosen. Kai was chosen for season 3 and season 6, Lloyd was only chosen for season 13, Cole was chosen for season 1, season 2 and season 7, Jay was chosen for season 4, season 5 and season 11, Nia for Dave the Departed, and Zane for the pilots, season 9, season 10 and season 12. So Zane is at first place, here with Jay and Cole at second, Kai at third, and Lloyd and Nia at last. So for those who say that Cole is the least developed ninja, this video speaks for you. Alright, that's it for today's video. One of the hardest videos I've ever made, especially with that Dave the Reporter move. I honestly don't know why I did that, but yeah. So yeah, thanks for watching. Don't forget to tell me in the comments what you think of this video and who do you think play the smallest role in each season. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share to your friends, and I'll see you next time.